So let's find out. It's Heroic and Complexity in Group B. It's an opening match. There's a lower bracket to run things back, but this does feel like a map that Complexity need to compete within if people are going to consider them as a serious contender on that lower run.
We
Odds
have
10-1. The people don't believe.
maybe some fair numbers right there. Maybe a little harsh. We'll see if Complexity are a bit more ready for Vertigo than they were in their past two matches. They certainly could have forecasted it to come up in this veto. Fang's making good pace.
Just as that last T turns away, Fang comes out from the corner. They are, however, going to just rush back these two counter-terrorists. hallzerk has to run. He knows that this is going to be a locked-in fight. Wow.
Did he just go a bit farther than you normally do?
Tess
Was that with a surf? Surely
Tess
not.
the backwards, downwards facing jump across to screw over hallzerk just so that he couldn't get that headshot on the USP. And guess what? It worked. Of course, JT is still doing work. Catches one player inside of the site. Shush pressed into the smoke. JT has stopped bomb. Grim! A double right thereafter!
Leave it to Grim. What a close. I need to watch that back because it looked like that B-hop was just absurd because there was a surf element or he went farther, or it was the camera perspective from the guy who was defending. But either way, Heroic nearly locked it up by stopping Grim in this moment, and wow.
Second player peeks into it.
He still stole it back.
It's Complexity with the CT pistol win. Of course, comes down to the wire. If not for JT's 2K, not for Grim's double, with a fadeaway last bullet kill on B. So Heroic probably very well aware of how close they came to picking it up themselves, but got a volley towards JT. Position confirmed. That does draw hallzerk back for a second. Now, the alarm bell's ringing. Grim, it's just the one, and then they lose Floppy. So now the MP9s have to just come trading in, and at least they stop that bomb down beneath them.
Oh, but Fang doesn't see it and doesn't camp just above it, so Cadian will drop that. Task Tesses with the job, cover with the M4, and he runs out. Fang, he'll grab the frag, 1v2, reloads in. Cadian, he 1v3'd on Inferno. Ready to reload here. Smoke does him extra work.
Cadian toying with the idea of swinging, but it is being covered. Now he goes out, gets the damage in. Oh, Fang, instant trade, and with time to spare, jumps back on that bomb. He's going to grab the M4. It's the only thing that gets saved here out of Complexity, and you just know that Molotov smoke play over towards ramp is what opened the door for the connector split, took hallzerk off the initial angle, and let that B site crumble. I'm not sure how Floppy got shredded.
Yeah.
Died instantly to the Tech 9.
I think so I think Vertigo is the most Heroic-esque map. It really just fits well with their playstyle. And I think that we saw teams over the past couple of years use the fake potential by running underneath a ramp a little bit here and there. Heroic do it throughout almost every single half. And right there, they send a little bit of pressure up the A ramp so that they can loosen up mid and then walk out that way. And they're basically always finding new ways to get the CTs to make bad moves in that regard. And especially, you know, a team with a little bit less experience, a team that might be a little bit easier to get to rotate, well, they're going to get it the worst. But it actually surprises me how often they get away with it and how often they try it.
They lose another one. Ops missing. Fang, singular kill. That feels like an invitation for Heroic to just bombard this ramp, but they don't want to press the issue too quickly. Understandably, you're going to get Jabbi, one of the world's best Vertigo players, I swear to God.
Yeah, that was the other thing. The move for Jabbi, it was just perfect when they even thought about Vertigo as an upgrade. Such a monster when he was playing on Copenhagen Flames on this map. Improves them on both sides. A map that you double lurk on T side. A map with plenty of little annoying headshot angles. That's what Jabbi was born to play on. So, okay. The double push here is good, however. hallzerk taking Grim's spot. Cadian going down on the push as Grim peels back to the site. 3-0 start for Complexity. 10-1 odds coming into this game. which I think are nearly fair. I would have put it probably at what, like an 8-1 or something, based on what we've seen from them, how happy Heroic are to be here. If they pulled this off, it would be a pretty massive upset.
I think 8-1 instead of 10-1, just knowing Overpass is the third map. So if it does get there, you know, Complexity, no chumps.
That'll actually be an insane map to watch.
Yeah,
After
I almost
seeing Na'Vi versus Complexity.
Yes. I would like to get it just to find out. Even if Heroic win this 2-0, let's just play the third map, you know, for the scrim's sake. Let's get the data going. Jabbi, clean entry, Grim, right there on the top of connector. Of course, that AK now in the hands of Stown. Ooh, Floppy, gonna find his impact. Third CT to be fighting off at the top of Con, so we do see this affinity for middle already coming out of Heroic. It will continue, there's no doubt. We'll see Shush on the recovery mission here, 1 versus 3. Any kill will be felt. We've already got the very close one in that 1 versus 1 that economically did damage to Complexity, and now it's just about trying to recover from that. So 2 M4s, or rather M4 AK plus an AWP. 3 important weapons for the 4-0 start.
And another thing about their last 7-1 is that Vitality beat them a couple of maps ago, 16-8. But when they've won, 6 out of 7 of those games were single-digit losses for their opponents. So any fast start like this will have you feel like, okay, Heroic are not completely in the mood. And if there's anything that we know, again, JT talked about how many demos he's watched. They've had some close matches. They beat Ents. They were able to get Na'Vi all the way to map point on a third map. And so I think the Ember is still burning. And when Maniac talked about the farther we get away from these close results where they don't win, the less they matter. That's very true. But as long as we're still in that time period and they still can close out versus some of these top teams, well, there is still hope to go back and look at those maps. It's not so much chokes, but just a team that maybe had a little less experience, played a little worse under pressure, but not choked. Because that might be unfair, because it is true that Complexity don't have any veterans. I mean, Floppy played 11 seasons of MDL, but he's not he's not a LAN veteran.
Sure.
In the same way that Cadian is on big stages, for example.
Feels like when that conversation comes up, we do look at Grim. Obviously, his time with Liquid, though,
yeah,
still incomparable. Shush climbs over the wooden wall, gets real tight, real tiny on that B site, and sure enough, it's a quick push around the corner, catching Floppy on the fallback. So just the timing there from Heroic, doing it all quietly, clambering over top, works out wonderfully. They even hold Grim off on the flank, and you know now that at this point, that save starts to creep in. It's a good burn, though, from hallzerk. Catches what he wants, a forced fight versus Shush. Deep nade as well. It's instrumental damage. Double up even. Could have caught him, but Tesses on the other side of the map, if you thought you were going to get away with a fallback and a save, it is never going to be that easy versus Heroic. And so Complexity have given up the first round of the first 5.
That is a redeeming quality of an otherwise easy map to target. Saving is quite difficult, and also with the prevalent T-side styles that work right now with the double lurks, it's made it so that there's a lot of action even in situations like this. You can easily hunt down opponents. It's very rare that the CTs can run down the ramp to go for a save and save in the T spawn, for example. It's a little bit harder to do that, a little bit more dangerous. And it could be a stat. I haven't looked at it. Maybe we got some nerds out there that can check on this. But that Heroic are punishing saves more than anyone else on this map as well, which would explain how some of their biggest wins, and so many of their wins, are single-digit losses for their opponents.
Damn, harsh reality. 4 rounds in a row, 1 loss, there's the save. There's the impact from that very close round. Seen Anders busy lately on Twitter, coming up with all sorts of crazy boosts on this map. Why aren't Complexity stacking 3 people and looking into mid?
You're saying he had an auto sniper lineup?
Yeah, apparently now you can spam all of B site from T-spawn with the G3 SG1. Those are the kinds of things that preoccupy Anders Bloom when the man is playing Counter-Strike. And I swear to God, Anders, if I die to that the next time I play matchmaking,
I'll be disappointed but not surprised.
I'm coming to your house for cinnamon buns.
For cinnamon buns. With fisticuffs.
In that order. Yes, I'm fueled now, sir. Put your dukes up.
hallzerk already a bit better of a start here on Vertigo.
It's a good sign, but it's also not quite that floppy performance we got out of Inferno. I'm curious to see which member of Complexity can put up those numbers this map. But whatever.
That was a high bar to set.
Take it on the chin. You know that pistols weren't meant to do much. Now the buy is right back. And even then, Grim USP kills definitely worth something. Still, though, light utility for Complexity. A small compromise to have rifles back in hand and to have hallzerk going for opening picks. Smoked and blinded, though. Luckily for him, there's no rush up behind this. Oof. But be cautious, because the wall bangs are coming. Man, Heroic, just so fluid in their T side. Already starting to group up outside of the B site. We're going to get empty util top middle. That could pull a player away, and that would leave Floppy on his own. But he hears those footsteps closing the gap. Grim over the top of construction. It's just the one kill. Only one's not enough.
They are so good at punishing setups like this. Anybody playing back gen, we saw this with a few other teams, and you would like to be able to do that, play retake on B, or some sort of half retake where you're waiting just for the site hit to come in before you throw counter nades and then just exploding across the site. But right now, Heroic, when they have B stairs control, that's kind of the hard part. And I think that if they win that too easily, it's akin to taking Banana on Inferno, where no matter how many CTs are there, if they're playing farther back, they'll just eventually lose because the entry protocols are so strong, the dot flashes are so strong, and Heroic's comfort on this map is just so high.
Yeah, justified map pick. Every time we see them on it. There was, of course, that anomaly of a loss versus Vitality. Or am I misspeaking?
Yeah, it was. It was a
okay.
16-8 loss to Vitality.
Right, so not even just...
You also pointed out it was the first time they lost to Vitality since the beginning of 2022.
Which is wild.
Yeah. Hey, Vitality have Paris coming up, so...
Not just a loss, but a 16-8. I feel like we don't often see Heroic get blown out on Vertigo.
Yeah, and I think... Thinking about that match, a huge part of it was fighting down the steps, especially towards the B side. The same can be said for A. The conversation used to be about teams that were way too passive on A getting abused as soon as you could get that smoke lineup. And now it's sort of evolved towards the B site where teams B execs are getting very good. And B used to be the way more easily retaken site, but the executes have just taken a step further and... have been taken a step further, and I think it's not as viable anymore. Versus Heroic, in those moments where you sit and pause and in your optimized setup because you just got a kill and you're trying to burn 20 seconds to see if they make a mistake, Heroic are pushing, but they're almost always pushing the free and available map control and punishing you for sitting patiently and waiting. So fighting fire with fire is really the way to fight Heroic. And they've proven at this point that they can beat almost any other team that tries to slow it down versus them, even with this playstyle.
Jabbi's going to catch that movement towards middle. You got to be on your toes when it comes to Jabbi on T-side Vertigo. Without any indication, he'll come out mid, he'll step up B. Got to keep your hands up for the block at all times.
Yeah.
So Grim is dead.
Yeah, that's the game they force you to play. They say, okay,
yeah,
if you want to put pressure on the A ramp, or we're going to put pressure on the A ramp, if you give us too many clues, two people throw a nade at the same time, we hear that push coming down, Jabbi can walk out mid. If we don't hear that, then maybe they'll have the lurk come out towards B, or walk into the site that way. Shush will get boosted up and start to approach. And so you constantly have to play this game where you need enough counter pressure, but not too much to give away clues, or Heroic will be there ready to attack.
It's like everybody knows the protocols, but jabbi just has half the processing time. That much faster. Ooh, he gets away. I thought that wallbang damage was going to be enough. It just ends up drawing jabbi into the scope of hallzerk. Pistols behind hallzerk, and he's using them as peons to trade back and forth down that B ramp. We talk about the rotates, the protocols. It's a fast move from Stown trying to charge at this A site, and sure enough, Fang's patience to stick around pays off for the first one. Cadian 1v3 wants the Fang kill first, but then he just gets pinched from that top shelf, and hallzerk take a bow. 3 kills on this round when they came in with lesser weapons is a critical turning point, perhaps. Complexity 5-3 with the chance to extend early.
Yeah, he was sort of a queen on the board there in the B site, and he had his knight, his pawn beside him, ready to draw attention as he took safe battles and also waited out some of the utility that came overhead. The flashes did almost nothing. I think Molly landed a quad to try to flush someone out of that spot, and then his rotation at the end was the icing on the cake. So well done from hallzerk. And they keep this game close. And again, if there's one thing for Complexity here, even though they haven't shown the ability to close Vertigo versus top teams, it might have been very obvious that Heroic were going to pick this map. I mean, TC was literally a doctor. JT, I think he was a rocket scientist. Like, if you know they're going to play a map, we know they're going to put in a lot of work. We've seen them prep versus some of these big teams, and it pays off. Even their execs on Inferno were so impressive. It's so tailored. Bespoke execs specifically for Heroic.
Ooh. Floppy bests shush. Not the opening kill that Heroic were hoping to have to deal with. Cadian point blank now versus Fang. Kind of steps out unprepared. And JT gets a slice of Tess as he tries to trade out beyond the Opera. Look to just save Cadian. There's Valor in it. Oof. Where'd that come from?
Where did that come from?
Where'd that... It's just...
Damn. Illegal shot to the back of the head.
Punk. hallzerk and JT not wanting to shy away from it. Cadian's Molotov will force the issue. Short now belongs to Heroic for now. And JT, you gonna go with this again? Flashes over top, there's the fight. Target selection is good. Cadian with his head turned, dodges most of those bullets. He'll be left on a quarter HP. 2v3 facing Heroic at the 30-second mark. Not ideal, but they'll go for the boost. A run boost, in fact, trying to offset crosshairs. Jabbi's given some space to play. Didn't see hallzerk because of the smoke off the flames. And now Cadian, who's had multiple teammates try to take those forward fights to keep him alive and kicking. Ultimately, same result. He's dead. And Cole, 6-3 lead.
Sometimes those flash retakes, I don't like them, especially when they're even numbers or... Actually, in particular, when they're even numbers and you have a spot where you can overstack the correct site or whatever it is. Here, they're up numbers, and JT not only gets a kill, but he sees the last 2 players at the 30-second mark. There's no time to run back to the B site. That's too much info gain for Complexity to drop the ball. So, very well timed. The high efficacy flash. Now, Heroic are on pistols.
Snap for hallzerk. Delicious double out of Fang. A round like this, just an appetizer. It's like a duck stuffed dumpling with a cranberry sauce.
I wish I knew what that tasted like. Sounds delicious.
When you got little to work with, you got to try to orchestrate it with maybe a little bit of chance. So Deagle spam, just trying to frazzle Complexity. It's got them moving, but it's also just going to elicit the reaction via utility. So now you got to wait longer. They see a little gap on that. Cadian's going to try to press in, take a chance. I don't blame Heroic for trying to make the most of all these moments. But Complexity aren't making mistakes. Watch this flick.
Hugo would have said he's dead.
Does get the free little leg peek first, but listen, hallzerk's connecting op shots.
He is.
And when hallzerk connects op shots, Complexity look
a lot better.
Yeah, I was about to say, as a world-beating team, but they just, a lot better is the best way to frame that.
Yeah. And near world-beating in some of the recent games, and speeding at the very least, which is no small feat. But everyone looks a lot better when your offer is at the top of the board. That is just the end of the story. That's how Vitality got away with being frauds for the entirety of 2022.
But now they're the real deal.
Yeah.
Some would hope. So I think that with a performance like this, a 12-4 start, hallzerk will afford himself some peaks down ramp. I'm curious to see if Heroics start going back to that B site. Cadian's going to stick around. We do get that movement away from here. And again, great floppy showing on Inferno, but not the most consistent piece of Complexity.
The resmoke, it's early, but actually we see there is some intention building here from Heroic to want to get into the B site. So, and they also got info on the A ramp. That's why that smoke comes down.
Flop, you better keep that head tucked, bud.
He's in jeopardy of randomly getting spammed at the spot for sure, and I think they do on one of their executes just do it in case, but there it is. Oh, but Floppy wins his.
Jumps up, looking for more. Clean second kill onto Shush. Just snaps a couple shots down into the head. Grim can then extend. You've got support in the back line of the B site, so all is good here for Complexity. There was no kill or overt damage that happened over towards A to force this hand back to the B site. But even then, Complexity just reading the situation well. JT putting his pieces in the right spot, and Grim, just like Floppy, keeps those headshots coming. Floppy at a distance, goes down, so be it. It's 3 alive for Complexity, 5 rounds up. And this defense, it looks stellar.
It looks amazing. It really does. You don't want to get too excited with this team. I think we can laud them for the quality of the rounds they win, but of course, in terms of maps, yeah, we've seen them lose big maps. We've seen them get leads and falter. We've seen other teams catch up to them and kill them in the adaptation aspect of the game. But already, in terms of Heroics, again, most of Heroics' big wins right now, Complexity are almost on quota with some bigger names.
Hello. Fang just slides into the back of Cadian. No cover from his teammates. No chance with all these smokes. But now Stowns managed to change places. That could catch a player off. Oof. Tech9 tap finds its home. Fang, though, still off of Henny with another couple kills. Going down real smooth. Stown can try to double back, but even Fang in that moment just stays tucked in, makes sure he survives. He's only got 3 HP, doesn't get rambunctious. Just locks in what was meant to be an easy round, and sure enough, looks like it.
And he's doing what TassS will do over on the A site when they flip over to the CT side. And in the game versus Vitality, TassS was still the one thing that was nice about Heroic. And he really can carry from that position because so much action ends up leaning towards the A ramp on this map. Even though things have been slightly more balanced these days in terms of where the T's go. And Complexity have 9 sweet rounds here. They look good, and
haven't even had a bomb plant in 5 rounds.
Wow. And they're fighting in all the right spots. I mean, you saw one flash retake round tastefully used by JT where it actually won them the situation as well. Outside of that, they've been active on their defense. They've been playing strong, aggressive angles that are also safe. And for the most part, they've been dealing with B.
Complexity getting active here, moving Floppy off the site. Letting him press forward. Jabbi's going to be throwing supportive util towards A. This could compromise Fang. What's the spread? He's going to hang on, and JT's going to serve up a great distraction. Fang rounds the smoke, and easy. Wow. double headshot off the M4. Cadian, of course, hands now onto the AK, grabs that off a corpse. Floppy, because he pressed up close middle, is going to come very quickly down the ladder. And because Jabbi makes a couple audibles, Floppy not caught with his back turned. Cadian's going to go on the chase. He gets cut down because Floppy's playing a good series.
Yeah, he is.
Feels like the fight's not necessarily coming to him all too often on Vertigo, not like it was on Inferno. But when he's getting his chances to shine, he's doing it map to map.
His aim still looks good, absolutely. Dude, that A-ramp situation was played exactly correct here. The swing from JT on top of the push at the exact timing that Fang came in, it was ideal. We see how the Ts are looking in one direction, getting shot from the other. Gotta love it. The retake utility was great. Fang's having one hell of a map, 16-6, so... Jesus, I mean, this is already better than Inferno, which is... I don't even know how that story happened.
It's a less concentrated effort from Floppy, but a better result for all the other players. You get that op play, you get Fang's rifling. Grim's consistency, generally not questionable. But this time we've got a lot of heroic players already on the brink of this site. Fang, oh, dude, just curving bullets over top that orange box.
He's frying.
Man gets 2 heads spiked. Let that be the warning sign to the rest of Heroic, who now have to push past the perimeter. Bomb plant. This could be held in by hallzerk. Depends on if the op's caught on cycle, but the third shot connects, and that's going to leave Jabbi stuck on the other side of fence, with Cadian trying to cause some kind of a disruption to this eventual retake. It's a 4v2 on A site. But now they saw something, and Jabbi, instead of staying hidden, decides to go for the fight. And if he can offer up more, then they could still hold this off. But no, sir, not today. Not today. Complexity put a smoke on top that bomb because they just smoked out Heroic 11 on this CT side.
At this point, Fang can be in the most compromised spot ever, but he's radioactive. You can't get near this guy. He will kill you. He's got to be quite pleased with himself. Again, a bounce back after showing a good face versus ENCE, to a bad map last map versus Heroic, to now in a map that he has no business playing well on. The whole team really doesn't. But Complexity will take it. We're looking at a potential 12-3 scoreline. However, Heroic, one last full buy, an attempt to break the trend. We're in brand new territory, Connor. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, man. Discovering new species.
Of all the places that we've seen Complexity do well, or take some of their big wins recently, Vertigo wasn't even on that list.
Ollie to hallzerk. So good utility here from Heroic to frazzle the initial setup, but they too then get pelted by nades. This is causing an awkward disruption to what was meant to be a flowing mid-hit. Jabbi will eventually get through into the CT spawn. Og in the hangs from Fang. Holds on. Jabbi, that is. Him and Shush in with the answer, so man advantage here for the Ts, and then those 2 critical kills inside of the B site. Also, hallzerk's been heard. A 1-tap out of Jabbi to put a 4th up for Heroic, but is 4 terrorist rounds enough?
No.
11-4 on the half, Complexity punching upwards, exceeding expectations, and even more importantly, screw the expectations, they're exceeding all previous results.
Yeah, brand new territory here. They are off the beaten path in terms of what we've seen from them on Vertigo. They're showing a next level of comfort. Heroic in the few rounds they won had really well called rounds where their aim looked good. But I think that only speaks to how great Complexity have fared so far. Brought that from 10-1 odds down to 5-1 odds. So a marked improvement. Very aggressive here on this T-pistol. This molly will buy time for the rotators to come in. And there's actually no additional smoke here, so they might have to fight a little bit to get this bomb plant.
She's getting weird. You've already got 2 players at the base of ramp. The bomb was stopped by TSS.
Okay, now it can be securely planted.
But all the while, Jabbi and Kadian going to connect with headshots on the flank. So the flank goes phenomenally. So does the pistol, really. Heroic definitely need that chance to catch their breath, and this will be a sigh of relief. A 5th added early by a pistol that looked like, honestly, they had Complexity corralled like cattle.
We have a microscopic sample size for Complexity with these 2 maps that they recently played, but they really sucked on CT side. 30% win rate in both maps. And then their T side is also below 50, but a little better. And there might be some irony if they end up losing this. But this lead can quickly disappear after these conversions take place, and Heroic CT side and T side are so extraordinary. If one failed today, the other could just show up for no reason.
Counter-Strike always a tale of 2 halves. And Complexity's tale, one of regular tragedy.
That's true.
So,
TSS
yes.
also, again, one of the most consistent pieces on this map, playing a very important part of the map. Didn't have a good first half. We're going to pay attention to him, too.
Grim keeping his head tucked behind wood. They're going to do the double boost. Makes it a little awkward here for Floppy. But he will still shave a lot of health off Shush. That makes Grim's job so easy. Doing the dirty work. Jabbi slides out, 2 kills. Now he's going to be stuck on quad, but the support from Kadian's in already. hallzerk, double Mac 10 kill. And with that, he can go for the plant. But already pressure coming out of Stown. He decides not to change out guns. He misses his incendiary, so things are getting weird.
I think he heard at least the drop off, and he's looking for a better gun. Surely he's looking for a better gun. Thinking there was one at quad.
Okay.
A Blackwater. What year is it? Darkwater?
Darkwater.
Okay. Bomb can get planted. He knows Stown is giving him some respect. It's going to be an honest man's duel here.
hallzerk trying to get off site. Sees him, comes in, gets himself the headshot.
Doesn't run from a duel. hallzerk. Let him know.
16th kill on the map for hallzerk, trying to catch up to the 21 of Fang. And man, honestly, hallzerk working hard for that. Had to get the double Mac 10 clearing of the bomb site. Things got sketchy when Kadian comes running out to try and do what Jabbi does, offer up more than 1 kill. Can't. That's a smoke spam to finish. Jabbi knew that he was back there.
Yeah, I thought this was over when the trades were just going Heroic's way off the site hold. So it's all about hallzerk.
Big force buy pickup. Complexity trying to keep this one nice and short. TSS on the shorter of guns. Spamming back and forth and still hasn't been hit. But there's more where that first T came from.
Maybe if he saves North America, his name could just be Hal.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of...
Big Hal. Big Hal with the keystone.
Grim slides between util. But then we get that second fight, and it also goes down smooth. Grim, full control of the situation. Kadian's Deagle in the pocket with the scout just a couple steps back. But it's all too easy for Grim. Floppy, as he does, holding the back line.
I was ready to spin that lazy Susan and turn that narrative backwards and just go, wow, Heroic, they won that pistol. They can totally come back into this. I'm not even going to be surprised if they do. But as soon as that second round of the second half took place, what can you say? That clutch, that can mean everything. There's so much less pressure on Complexity at the moment. And again, we had a graphic that brought up the Na'Vi map of Overpass. And I think unless you watch that map for what it was, round by round, it would very clearly seem like a choke because of the other losses in Complexity's history. But I think when we watched it, as we were casting it, it didn't feel like we ever... I don't think we brought that word up once, up until the very end.
Yep.
You know, maybe around 29 was when the pressure mounted a little bit too high. But up until that point, Na'Vi played really well and brought it back slowly. And
pulling off those crazy individual moments.
Yeah, but
electronic op collateral.
Yeah, but Complexity, they weren't running out of time. I mean, they were executing on sites. They weren't keeping up on every duel, but they had players there to fight. So I'm not completely a believer that they simply choke.
Until the very, very end. I do think that, you know, there's that one example of hallzerk running into the site with the bomb out before Optimus got cleared.
I think that was the round 29. Yeah.
That was the one where it's like, okay, now it's out of your control.
Yeah.
You've lost your grasp of the situation. Nice nades. Oh, perfect! They waited so long to throw that double stack. And it just dunks on the heads of the front runners from Complexity, but the back line, that's what they're there for. The foundation, the support, and the surprise that is now this 14-5 scoreline out of Complexity.
They've been good on the cleanup crew with the anti-ecos that have gone almost wrong. Floppy, that 4K at the bottom of...
yeah, on Inferno.
Yeah, at the bottom of it on Inferno. He's been kind of the sanitation engineer of the team. Great nades, though.
Good Galil work.
Things can quickly get out of hand if you don't appear 100% focused. 16-8 for Vitality on this map. Complexity looking for a 16-5. Well, maybe that will instantly not be the case. Graham looking to take speed here. Actually, a trade comes down.
Another cleanup. Oh, they've got him pinned. Nade with his name on it. It's that short peek that's coming out.
Nade. They organized that so well.
Can Jabbi stop them, though? Grim 4 health. Reload's going to tell Jabbi all he needs to know. It's about the timing. Grim.
He's worried about it, but Grim, he actually gets out of dodge. Oh, Jabbi. He can follow them down. Now, the thing is, it's heroic, okay? They might reasonably expect this to be re-cleared, but not at this exact moment. It is very smart of Jabbi just to keep walking.
But he's just steps behind.
It's a question of whether or not he has to pause, because if they get to a certain spot...
Will Cole think about it? If they kill Shush instantly, then Jabbi... Oh, dude, and Shush looks away. He's still able to put up one. Both positions known. hallzerk 2 HP, Shush on 13. Looks like they've strung it all together. Yeah, hallzerk hands busy. He's doomed. Okay, Shush, critical time to get some impact. Prior to that moment, 7 and 17.
And Jabbi as well.
Okay. It did feel like they had it wrapped up the whole time with how quickly Jabbi got onto that flank, but it also relied on Shush locking in a kill or two.
Absolutely, because then they'll start looking at their flanks. There's no one else to draw attention away from it.
And if at any moment they decided to throw that Molotov behind them just for the sake of it, then Jabbi can't get into that fight as quick as he does. So nice by Shush there. Had full health, engaged with 2, slips in behind Green, and is going to give Heroic a chance to extend this game.
Oh, the flash is bad. No one peeks. Did they win bottom B control? I don't think they did. Oh, they did.
Yeah, they just walked through the smoke.
Yeah, they were so fast.
Not afraid of it. If they're trying to isolate a weak point of Heroic's defense, could be Shush. Fang
it's a beautiful boost.
2 CTs to try and fire back, but random op shots.
All right.
Probably not going to reward them. Here we go, Fang with a chance at another excellent play out of Cadian to just slide down and take away whatever he damn well wants. And Shush, tested at the B site, comes out through stairs.
Whoa.
Is that too much?
I don't know. We'll see what Jabbi has to say about it.
He tries to get in to recover that slack. We've already got the long cross over towards Quad. Jabbi hones in on it.
What coverage.
It's JT with the headshot. But it's little bits of health for hallzerk and JT, so maybe it's Grim's chance to go big. And he, sure enough, goes soon through, over smoke, drops the first, hallzerk connects to the second, and with that, we've got Complexity on 15.
That was a sick round, man. I mean, the incision from JT as he's putting up cover for the retake, that 3v3. Heroic were playing scared. The boost up in the smoke from Grim with the perfect pre-aim into CT spawn. And after this play goes wrong, Cadian lets one get away, and it's just all too easy for hallzerk. They set him up so well. That was from the perspective of individual decision-making and great outplay.
Of course, a wounded animal is a dangerous beast. And Heroic have nearly been bled dry. The teeth and claws are coming out. AK, ump, pistols for the rest. Fang inside smoke. Just awaits Cadian.
Comes down to which smoke comes up first.
Look at that crosshair already on his hips. Bullet straight to the head. TSS trades back. hallzerk just a little bit further. And it's that supportive player that has been the key piece to Complexity's A plays. They've got Shush on the run. Pinned into the corner of this staircase, can't get back. Floppy too fast on him, and hallzerk's already right here. We've got that right side green smoke down, Molotov for the stack of orange boxes, but that one doesn't pop. So there's a mistake here in the util that jabbi could weaponize. Does he slide through? Does he press this issue?
Floppy's ready for the smoke push.
But now Floppy's lost his vision. They cross paths. hallzerk, a bit of panic as Floppy suddenly exchanges positions, and that second CT, not even needed. 5-7 for the double.
Oh my God.
And Heroic keep their hopes alive.
Wow. I think Floppy... Do you think he should have kept walking instead of spraying back through the smoke? But they were probably wondering where the cover is. But the smoke is down.
I don't think Floppy had to go through the smoke.
He also didn't have to go through the smoke.
It would have been there once the bomb was planted.
That's very true, actually.
And if anybody goes to stop plant, you know it happens while the smoke's up.
Yeah, so I thought it looked as if the best way to hold the smoke right now is to stand kind of in front of it, where if someone pushes through, they're still smoke blind, but they show their whole body and they don't even know if they're walking forward. And so Floppy overextends a little bit.
This one could be fast. That's what they wanted. Shush eats a couple flashbangs, but will walk away with the 5v4. They go for the boost. I think jabbi just saw a little thigh. A little hip. Oof, and jabbi just dive bombs him. Cadian's right here with it as well. Heroic, they're not going to shy away from these engagements. They're going to come in clean, try to wipe away everything that you've got. You know Fang's stuck in this corner.
Look how much money they're using on him, though.
All this attention as well. TSS gonna slide right through. Yeah, they know what you're up to. They know where you're at. And Heroic know also how to come back.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that last round and see what kind of comeback Heroic can build up right now. But for the time being, we've seen some good attacks here on T side. Much improved complexity. Probably therefore a hard to read complexity for Heroic, who don't know how much they've changed the complexion of their map. But I think at this point, honestly, no matter what happens, Heroic showing some instability after really not having any trouble for the last half of the last year versus virtually every single top team on Vertigo. No investment for complexity.
Oh, but a run boost. No? No? Ah.
Thinking about it.
JT's like, should I just jump? I'll see you guys next round. Well, they've gotten over construction. That's half the fight. One Glock kill. You take what you can get. You're not supposed to have anything. So one measly frag out of 5 Glocks.
Okay, 15-9. One round at a time, say Heroic. Full buys in for both squads. Complexity seeing themselves winning this match.
To extend the series to Overpass, where things truly could get interesting. TSS finds a sliver between the smokes. Chooses to make it his home.
A lot of early kills these past couple rounds for Heroic. Going for map control. No nade damage in here.
Ollie could flush back the T's, sure enough. They're all blind, they're all spamming.
Oh, really good nades here from Heroic. They just get so much info.
TSS decides to double back ever so slightly. Flash for the front of that smoke. Who's gonna fight? Who's gonna fall? Here it comes. Presence very much felt at the moment.
This utility's insane right now from Heroic.
We've got Complexity on the departure.
Yeah, they readied up for a full A hit, even if it was prolonged, and they got that. And I mean, Complexity showing some flexibility here. They're respecting the fact that Heroic have just shown too much strength on this side of the map, and there is only one at B for the moment, so now the rotations will start to come in. Shush, he's been great.
Jabbi's on quad. Quietly just stuck back here. Sure enough, TSS comes over fast. Jabbi looking to hang on to the little that he still has, and it's Shush off the side of green to drop that bomb. Health advantage clearly to Heroic. But Floppy, he's getting ever closer. Again, trying to cheese the smoke. Again, looking for that Galil impact. He's pushed Fang into the clutch, gets away from the op shot. He's got this all pictured, but the time expires, and that means Fang's hope at the 1v2 dry up.
Oh, there was a chance for him to get that plant. As Floppy pushed back Jenny and got his first kill, there was a chance that Floppy got the 2K spray down. But instead, they don't. And Heroic get to 10. Yeah.
Getting sketchy.
That was a great round to start things off for Heroic. And that little bit of damage they did to 3 players with their HEs and their little bits of spam in the beginning, that could have had a knock-on effect as well. The IGLs had the same idea last round. It favored the CT side. It's a feather in the cap of Cadian.
He is the peacock of CS, after all.
Some would say a dick.
Yeah, but those people don't lift trophies.
That's true. They can be mad at him, but they got to respect him.
Little flash here to blind him, so well-placed util when you think about how little there really is for Complexity. It's gonna rely on Fang going above and beyond. He loses Grim by his side. It's an ominous sign of things to come if they keep pressing up this ramp. Cadian finds himself a second kill, but does lose a teammate in the mix of it all. Jabbi, already here though. It's not like this A site feels compromised, it just feels tested at the moment. It's an all-in from Cole. Pistols trying to connect. AK still in the back. Floppy connects with the Desert Eagle headshot. Now that's something. We're down to 20 seconds. They've got 3 CTs, and that AK still yet to activate. If Cadian drops the shot, then the AK slides in.
Okay.
But Jabbi right there. So a double is his, and an 11th is Heroic's.
You brought him up, and he's been the star of the show here for Heroic. A big map for Jabbi. It's here, there, and everywhere. Dedicated B last round over on the A site, ready to stop this lingering attack. And Heroic letting Complexity know they're very uncomfortable with any map control at all.
Here are the guns Complexity have had to wait for. We have had Cadian opping around ramp. hallzerk putting the big green in said position, but instead Cadian tried to get over to the B site. And that's what allowed Shush to drop to the bottom of stairs. And if we go back a couple rounds, I feel like Complexity were coming through that smoke without a test. No challenge.
Absolutely. And
this time, it's there.
It's so hard for Shush to show a aggressive face like this over and over again, come up with new ways to approach. And Complexity are just waiting for the moment where he gets tired. But no, he keeps innovating.
And he was set up by Cadian, presumably sent there, posted up for the original peek, saw nothing, and Shush just walks downstairs. We see Floppy try to lurk through it. Man advantage Heroic in a gun round that Complexity really had to wait for. And that won't be able to afford in the follow-up. So big moment here. If Cadian can snap that op shot up into Grim, then you've got this B site stalled out. Shush awaits them. Oh, but Cadian goes peeking wide. Grim, the patience is perfect. Shush, double, triple, 4 on the round.
Damn, dude, Shush is a beast.
And so quiet up until that point that he's allowed to play his game on his bomb site.
Came into the half with 8 frags. 6 or 8 frags?
6.
Yeah, down to 20, so unbelievable so far.
And that's Shush on a CT side when you try to test him.
And you don't play 3B down the stairs, you know? You have to trust Shush to be able to stay alive, but you also don't simply play passive and just keep him alive for as long as possible. So again, his role, his job is just so dangerous, and he's just expected to get these frags over and over again. So consistent at delivering them. He's not only got to watch for lurks as he's down the stairs, he's got to pick new angles to fight from, he's got to be comfortable in all those angles, he's got to be able to fall back, not get caught rotating out, not get mollied out of a very open site with no ceilings. He has to stop full-on attacks from coming in thereafter, and he's just doing everything.
They're trying to set up Grim this round. They give him that AK. Offered to him by JT. And we saw him almost crack through that setup just 1 round prior. He's going to try it again. Fight versus Elevator, cleaned up in an instant. Shush gets that from the deep B site. And that just frees up Jabbi to go deep on middle, make sure that construction is theirs. They're going to double peek it while Shush is still maintaining top stairs. And because they waste no time, now they double back. Shush gets his support, and Complexity get nothing.
Dude, their utility is unreal.
How is their deep B anchor getting nade kills in mid?
Yeah.
Shush with a hell of a half, slides out around Tetris, will die to Fang. There's still something left on this, but it all gets closed in on. Tesses, double headshot again, and every time Complexity want to try to get to that B site, they are met by the brick wall that is Heroic.
Oh boy. And as mentioned in that Na'Vi game, there were no big, there weren't any massive errors. Again, clock wasn't a reason that Complexity lost some of those rounds. I think they had integrity, they looked composed up until a certain point, but now, without rounds to play with maybe one more rifle round, this is where we saw them waver a bit. This is where they seemed a little bit scared. The last time versus Na'Vi, this is where the unforced errors started to seep in. And unfortunately for them, with every one of these losses, you can start to lose the context on all of these rounds and the specific situation to happen, and just even yourself maybe start to believe that these big moments were complete jokes and maybe just see it happening again. But we'll watch for the decisions, the attacks, and see if Complexity end up allowing this to go to OT. But Heroic are a different team now from the first half. Everyone's scoreline's coming up, utility's looking fantastic, no opening kills can be given up.
Oh man, they're fighting. Stound's already pressed in close. Grim's just tucked in the corner, and they've got an op on what I believe is a gap in the smoke. Stound! Oh, stuffed by Fang. Floppy's finished off by the nade. Fang, fire on his feet, but he can compromise this site. He extends and catches them not looking. It's Cadian down and a fight out of Complexity. 2 attempts to close this in regulation left. And honestly, they're going to go back to this B site as they've always wanted, but this is with success at A to start. So Shush is not there. He doesn't have those deep hooks in the defense. There's nobody back quad. There's no one hiding green. This is the first time that Complexity can find footing on this B site without Shush causing a problem.
We are low on retake grenades. 2 smokes left over, so it'll come down to the frags. There are open angles here. It's still entirely possible for the CT side. But it is another don't blow this situation for Complexity. And they have this op on hallzerk.
He's trying to lean back, wants to make sure flank can't come through. Grim will be the landmine, meant to blow a hole in this retake. And it's already getting closer. They had that cache of flashes left in spawn. Grim, he gets one, but Jabbi's got the trade frag. Always efficient. Jabbi and Shush, the kings of B, now stuck and traded to their folly as Complexity come in with a 16-round win. They dodge OT, A little bit of that curse lifted as we get this series going to overpass, and we know that Cole love a little overpass.